F1's first pre-season test is about to get underway. It's being billed as a private shakedown, and in this video, having just done my pre-season predictions, I'm going to talk you through the different things that you need to look out for over the course of next week. One of the first things is if you are following a particular team, you need to keep an eye out for when they're running. Now, unfortunately, if you're a Williams fan, they've said they're not showing up. They haven't exactly given the reasons for it. There are rumours that are going around about it, but they're not going to be there. And if you're wanting to hear how Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are getting on, that's not going to be day one. McLaren have already confirmed that they're not running on the first day. Over these 5 days, teams can dedicate 3 of them to running. Some experts suggest the best way to do it would be running 1, 3 and 5, because then you have a day off in the middle in which you can crunch the numbers and try to send it back to base and see what the people back at base are saying compared to what they were expecting. Also, it means if something goes wrong, crash, mechanical issues, anything like that, you can get the parts out over that rest day. But yeah, some people aren't doing that. McLaren, we already know, is not doing that. So keep an eye out on social media as teams confirm which days they're doing, and if you're following for a particular team, try to follow those 3 days. A second thing to expect is minimal coverage. Now, the reason why is the media aren't allowed in. It is designed to be as private can be. Though, for Barcelona, there are obviously going to be restrictions. It's a major city. I've only been in Barcelona on a layover, but even then, the flight path that we were in, and funnily enough, I was flying from Alonso's hometown of Oviedo. It flies over the circuit. There are lots of ways that people will get footage out. I'm assuming if somebody has a crash, it will be found. Makes you wonder why they didn't think of somewhere that was a bit more remote, like Paul Ricard or Jerez. But in the end, they have gone with Barcelona. It's a good venue to be able to test all kinds of different things. So you can expect to see, in terms of footage, some bits that teams want to show you and some bits that F1 wants to show you. But don't expect the round-the-clock coverage. In fact, I've been seeing people reporting that apparently the first of 2 Bahrain tests will also only have minimal coverage. But it will have press coverage in comparison to what we're having here in Barcelona. Another thing to have a look out for is going to be the comments that come from drivers and teams. The main thing to hear is if they say that there have been surprises compared to the data they already collect. Most F1 teams use a variant of the R-Factor engine, known as R-Factor Pro. And so for a lot of them, they'll be able to simulate similar parameters. I think Ferrari uses Assetto Corsa. Or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do. But what you should expect is that some people will say, yeah, this is exactly how we expect it to be. We know where we're strong. We know where we need to improve. And there will probably be 1 or 2 teams who are like, we had this happen and we didn't expect it to happen. The first test in 2022 revealed how much of a problem porpoising was going to be because people hadn't simulated for the effect of porpoising particularly much when it came to ground effect. And you could see something similar in 2026 when it comes to figuring out how these cars that are less ground effecty but obviously still have complex underfloors are going to behave. You might find that some teams find that the changing between the cornering mode and the straight line mode has a more pronounced effect. Another thing to expect is going to be some variety. Expect some cars to look a bit different to the others, but expect them to generally follow the same kind of trend. What I mean is, for example, V-Carb. The new V-Carb has a larger airbox than people expected, even though the version that was shown off in the Ford season launch had a larger airbox on it than the Red Bull did. I'm not really expecting a Mercedes Zero side pod like we had with the W13, but it could happen. We still haven't seen all of the cars, and we've still seen only some cars, because some of them have been in a show mode, some of them have been for the Barcelona spec, some of them have not. The last thing to expect is a lot of speculation, but try not to get caught up in it. Because it's the first year of a new rule cycle. We've got very limited information we're going off of. We're not going to really see people talking about telemetry data. We might see a couple of bits and pieces, but even then, it's going to be selectively filtered through. So don't expect that there's going to be a pecking order at the end of every day and people can go, oh yes, this is definitely who's the strongest, because most people are going to be commenting on it are not actually there. There'll be a few people from F1 who are there, and there'll be the people who are from the teams who are there. But aside from that, we're going to be having to rely on a lot of speculation and footage. I mean, I've seen lots of people who were looking at the Ferrari Fiorano shakedown and going, oh look, they're pushing Lewis's car off the track, that means that it's in real trouble. No, it really doesn't. But this is what people do. So expect that the information that we do get, that we do actually have concrete confirmation of, is the stuff that will be reported by F1 itself. Some of the publications, Autosport, The Race, for example, they'll be a bit less sensationalist. They'll definitely be on the less sensationalist side because they like to back it all up with the data that they have. Even then, they're saying we're going to have very limited coverage because we're only going to go off of what we do actually know. But do expect that those F1 blogs that you see, those Instagram accounts, and those clickbaity pages on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, are going to be put into overdrive over the next week. They'll go, oh my gosh, this team hasn't run on day 2. That means their season is over. Oh my gosh, this team ran the first 3 days and have gone home. That means their season is over. Oh my gosh, this team only ran 2 days. That means they're about to go out of business. And yeah, don't take them at any value. Anyways, regardless, thanks as always for following along, for tuning in, and for listening to me talk about this for a few minutes. Once the first test is done, I will sit down and do a little bit of a debrief based off of what I've been able to put together from the sources that I follow. I'll give some thoughts and feelings, and then we will probably not talk about it for a couple of weeks until the Bahrain tests get underway. But anyways, folks, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for joining, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, it's bye-bye for now.